Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Kevin's Commentary. You know, in a couple weeks, we're going to have postseason play in all of our NCAA sports. Our guest today, a very special guy at the University of Wyoming, our Deputy Athletics Director, Matt Whisenant, who also happens to be the chairman of the Division I NCAA Wrestling Committee. And Matt, I know that's a great honor for you. How did that happen for you?
You know, I joined the committee back in 2012-13, and the committee is a 4-year cycle. And so I've gone through, and I was fortunate enough to get nominated for the chair, and I served as chair last year, and this will be my last year on the committee, and serving as chair this year on our way to Madison Square Garden. So excited about it.
Sure, and of course what that really means is that you're the championship committee chairman, and I know it's got to be just like basketball. When you guys get into that room and are sequestered on seatings, it has to be really a challenge. It's a very important role, however.
It is. I mean, it's heated. I mean, yeah, you get in there and you know, everybody's looking at a lot of data. You know, we have some objective criteria, but you go through that, and you know, there's a lot of you look at, you know, seating 330 student athletes to go to this. You're seeing the top 16 in each weight class. It's a lot of data, a lot of student athletes you're looking at. You know, usually your 1 and 2s are pretty obvious, but you start getting into 3s and 4s and up. It's interesting. It's fun. But you know, you got 6 people on the committee, and everybody's got, you know, an opinion, and you know, we all discuss it and move forward. But it's 3 long days trying to get it right, and you know, walking out of that room and you know, making sure again that the right student athletes are there to compete for something they've been working for all their life.
Of course, a lot of excitement is going to be in Madison Square Garden this year. Just a terrific location. When do you guys get into town, and when do you actually start the seating?
Well, the seeding will actually occur right after the last tournament. So we'll fly into Indianapolis on Monday, right after the Big 12 tournament, right after the Big 10 tournaments. We'll fly in that Monday, and we'll work Monday night, all day Tuesday, and as long as it takes us Wednesday to get it seeded before the announcements can come out. So I'll fly there, then from there I fly to Vegas, hopefully to watch some basketball, watch us win that championship again. So that's the plan.
You know, everybody is passionate about their sport, but I don't know if there's many more passionate people than there are in the sport of wrestling. That's got to be an experience at the actual tournament.
It is. You know, it's one of the few sports that actually generates revenue for the NCAA. It sells out. The championship sells out every year. You know, it is an extremely passionate fan base. You know, going forward, it's one of those things as we move forward and project out where we're going, we always know we have that fan base that'll go wherever it is. We knew looking at New York, it was going to be expensive. We took that into consideration, but we also knew it's an Olympic year. You know, a couple years ago, they looked at maybe cutting wrestling out of the Olympics. Fan base stood up, you know, coaches stood up, talked, you know, expressed their concern, got it back in, and you know, here we are. We're going to be sold out at, you know, perhaps the greatest venue in the United States.
You know, I think that brings up a good point. There are programs that have dropped their wrestling and around the country, and there's always a lot of talk about the sport itself, but it seems to me like it's very healthy and in good shape. Do you feel that way, Matt?
I do. You see a lot of programs coming back at the D3 and the NAIA, the D2 levels. Everybody's concerned. You see a lot out in the media regarding the expenses in Division I athletics and the FBS level, and what does that mean for the Olympic sports and the concerns of your wrestlings and your gymnastics and your swimming programs and things like that. So is that a concern? No question. We talk about that a lot. The NWCA, the National Wrestling Coaches Association, is one of the things they talk about a lot. How do we make the sport stronger? Big picture, you know, on all levels, you know, from youth levels up. How do you build it? So is it strong? Yes. Are there some current concerns out there? Sure there are. But that's one of the things that our coaches do a great job of doing, is promoting that from the youth levels up, which is, you know, where you're getting your college programs. And I think a lot of administrators are seeing the value, because you're seeing a lot of programs, you know, Fresno State, add it back. You know, they'll be back. So it's exciting to see those programs stepping back up and bringing those programs back.
You know, we know you do the seeding. We know you do the site selection. What are some of the issues that you have during the actual tournament? And I'm sure you have many of them that you really have to address on the fly, so to speak.
Right. I mean, really what we're looking at, it's like you say, it's kind of all-encompassing. Anything championship related for the event, the logistics. You know, as a chair, one of the things I do is work with the officials. If there's an issue there, I speak to them before the first round, speak to them before the championship round, address any concerns we may have. We grade our officials to get them into the championship. If there's something that comes up from a logistical standpoint about coaches on the floor, you know, there's some new concussion protocols. There's a lot of things that are in place to make sure it runs smooth. I mean, the big picture is what's best for the student athletes, the fans, the people on TV, making sure we just run a great event. And it's like I said, there's a lot of moving parts. We got a lot of great people, including my liaison at the NCAA, Anthony Holman, who just does a superb job in putting on a great event. And so it's exciting.
Before we let you go, it's really a big deal for the University of Wyoming to be in the Big 12. We know that. As a chairman of the committee on a national level, what does that mean to a program like Wyoming to join a conference of that level?
You know, I think it gives it a lot more credibility. I mean, we were in the WWC, it gets kind of confusing because it was actually a regional. We weren't a recognized conference. And so to be able to move forward and join the Big 12 with, your likes of Oklahoma State and Oklahoma and Iowa State and now West Virginia's in it, to be in that and to be able to, big thing is to be able to have a Big 12 tournament that really prepares your student athletes for the national tournament, to have a 2-day tournament with multiple teams, moving forward really prepares your student athletes. And the next step there is to continue to grow it. Grand Canyon is a university that's looking to join. Fresno State, we've had discussions about joining with the Big 12. So again, even looking down the road of further growth. But for us, Coach Branch has done an excellent job, and our student athletes, you can see what the kind of student athletes we're getting here, highly touted prospects. So on the recruiting angle, I think it helps also. The future's bright.
Well, quite an honor, Matt, to be chairman of a national committee like that. I know you're very proud of that, which you should be. You do a great job here at the university, and we appreciate you being with us.
Well, I appreciate it.
Okay, Matt Whisenant, Deputy Athletics Director, University of Wyoming. Thanks for being with us, everyone, today. Until next time.